Hello friend, how are you? My name is Soman. I'm back once again with a new video. So today I'm going to discuss about a driving license, how you get a driving license here in Canada. So right now I'm in Nova Scotia. So I'll guide you guys for getting a driving license here in Nova Scotia, but this is true for all the provinces here in Canada. I personally got my driving license from Ontario, and now I'm here in Nova Scotia, and I just have exchanged my driving license. So anyway, so this is for my wife. My wife never has driven in her life in India. Okay, she has never has driven. So now but here in Canada, you guys might know, like, driving license is one of the most requirement. I mean, these the thing you need in to stay here in Canada. Otherwise it is very difficult to move around in different places, right? And if your wife is planning to work, or if she has her own schedule here, obviously she is going to have in few years, even though if she doesn't work in India, right? So driving license is a necessity here, right? So how to get a driving license? So this video is useful for those people who are not driving, or who has never driven in their life in their country, or even if you have driven in your country like me, then also this video will be useful for you. So let's say, to start with, to getting a driving license, what you need to do, first, nowadays there is an online test is happening. So there are three things you need to do. First is your learner's driving license, like the rules and regulations of the roads and the road signs and all these things. That is the first test you are going to pass. The second test is your actual driving test, where your instructor will be sitting in the passenger seat, and he will be instructing you how to drive a vehicle, take a left turn, a right turn, U-turn, or whatever, whatever he is going to instruct. You need to show him your driving skill. That is the second test. And after this second test, you will be authorized to drive any vehicle, any passenger vehicle here in North America or in Canada. But there will be some restrictions will be applied if you have that license. The restriction, let's say, you cannot drive past midnight, and you cannot drive over certain passengers, or if you have consumed alcohol, even even if it is a minute level, then also you cannot drive. So lots of restrictions are there after your second driving test, or the second license. And after that, there is a final license, that is a full license. Then you are fully authorized to drive vehicle with no restriction, right? So that is the last step. So right now I'm the holder of the last step. I am holding a full license, so there is no restriction on me, and it will help you to reduce your insurance cost as well. Okay, so I'll come to that later. So how to start? The first thing you need to do, that you need to register yourself in Nova Scotia. If you are in Nova Scotia, then novascotia.ca. If you are in Ontario, then you need to go to Ontario government's specific website, and you need to register yourself with your name, phone number, your email ID, your date of birth, and everything, right? And then you need to schedule an online test. Right now online test is happening. In my time, when I got my first license, that was not online. I went to Service Ontario office, and there I have given that written test. So the first test is the written test. So in that written test, they will test your knowledge about the road, road regulations and the road signs, basically, right? So there are two tests, right? One is your traffic rules, and one is road signs. So both these tests can be done in online, and it will take 10 to 15 minutes, not more than that. So there will be 20 questions in each set of your in the test, and out of the 20 questions, you need to pass at least you need to be good in at least in 16 questions. So 80% is the passing mark. So if your 16 questions or 16 answers are correct, then you are passed, and you need to pass both the exams. Okay, that is very easy, guys, I'm telling you. And one more thing, when you are giving that online test, the online test will be conducted from your home, obviously. So you need a laptop with a webcam, or you need a desktop with a webcam. But the problem is, the software is very sensitive, and it captures your facial expression, right? So let's say when you are giving the online exam, you cannot cheat, or you cannot fraud simply. You cannot simply ask, hey man, just tell me what is this answer, or what is this answer, or you cannot browse through some pages or something like that. So if you do any abnormal facial expression, apart from just going through the questions and giving the answers, then the software might catch you, you are doing something wrong, and maybe that will be end of your exam. You cannot pass that exam like that. So, and it's very easy. Lots of materials and lots of help books and ebooks are available over the internet. You can simply Google for it. You will get to know, and questions are also pretty common. If you practice at least for maybe 2 or 3 days or 5 days, it's very easy to pass. My wife has passed in her first attempt, and most of the guys I know, they also have passed in their first attempt, including myself. Okay, so that is the first step, right? So the first, you need to register yourself, and you need to pay $15, the minimum payment. I mean the fees for that first exam is the $15, $15 some cents, so approximately $15. And you can schedule that test immediately. You don't need to wait for a certain time. If you are free, like in the evening or in the morning or in the night time, you can do that easily from your home. Once you pass that exam, then you will get a confirmation email, and with that confirmation email, you will receive some access code, and then you need to visit the Service Ontario or the Access Nova Scotia office, and you need to present that email, either soft copy or hard copy, anything is fine. You need to present that that access code to the officer there in Access Nova Scotia. After that, there are certain steps are there. They are going to take the picture of you so that it could be printed over the driving license, and from that day, the day when you are getting registered at the Access Nova Scotia office or the Service Ontario office, from that day you need to wait for 12 months for your next road test. Okay, if you never have driven in your life, then you need to wait for 12 months after your first passing, I mean the first date when you are getting registered in Access Nova Scotia or Service Ontario office. Okay, 12 months you need to wait for your next test. But if you are going to any driving school, any authorized driving school to get a driving course, and if you are certified by them, let's say after 3 or 4 months, then you need to wait only 9 months. So 9 months is there if you have a driving certificate from a authorized driving school. Then after 9 months you can give your exam, and that will cost you something around $500 to $600. Okay, it may vary. And if you don't want to spend that much money, $500 to $600, then you need to wait 12 months. But you will be on your own. You need to practice yourself, and there should be some certified trainer who will be sitting beside you, and he or she will help you to learn how to drive in Canada. So this is the process. So either 9 months or 12 months you need to wait for your next test. And after that test, if you are passing the test, then you are eligible to drive a vehicle in Canada. But if you have a driving license in India or back in your country, if you have a driving license, please bring that license. Along with that, you can bring a driving extract, official document that is issued by respective RTO or motor vehicle office, and basically that certify you that you are who you are, and driving and what is your past experience, right? So that's a kind of official government document. And if you can bring that document, then after your first test, after your online test, you don't need to wait for 9 months or 12 months, not at all. You can after passing your first test, immediately you can schedule your next driving test, road test basically. And if you are passed, then you are eligible to drive. So I did the same thing. I used to drive in India for more than 10-15 years. So when I came here in Canada, I brought my driving extract. So after passing my first exam, the written exam, I immediately scheduled my next test, and I passed that test, and I got my license. So that is the whole process, friend. And the last step is, after getting your the license, right, and the driving license, there is a full license. As I said, there are 3 steps, right? One is your learner license, that is the online test you are giving. Then the next is the road test, that you need to wait for either 9 months or 12 months. Or if you have a driving license, you don't need to wait. You can immediately schedule your next driving test, and you can pass that. So that is the second level, but with some restriction, you will get a driving license, and your insurance would be higher, if you are on this stage. So that is called G2 license in Ontario. You might have heard it about it. They call it as G2 license. In Nova Scotia, they call it as a 5N. N means new, class 5N. Once you get that, your the last one is the full complete license. That is called as G license in Ontario. And in Nova Scotia, that is a class 5 license. F means full license. So once you get your full license is nothing, but once you passed your second exam, the driving test, then you need to again you need to schedule one more test with your respective service Ontario or Nova Scotia or Access Nova Scotia, anywhere, and you need to pass that exam and you need to give the driving test over the highway, right? So basically in the first driving test, they will not take you to the highway, they will take you to the in the local streets or interconnected streets, but they will not take you to the highway. But if you are trying to get your full license, then you need to drive over the highway. That is the main difference, right? So this is the whole process, friend. So today my wife just has passed her learner test, the online test. It was easy, I would say. Now I'll be going to the Nova Scotia with her, and my wife will collect whatever the documents or whatever license they will issue to her. Okay, stay tuned. I'll be continuing this video, and I'll show you what kind of document they provide you. Stay tuned. So friend, my wife has she has grabbed her learner license. So this L sign, it means learner. So it's a temporary document she has received from inside. And the whole process is very smooth. She just went inside, she has shown us her email, and in that email she has the access code and the unique code that she has passed online test. And after that, they have taken her picture, and $125 fees are there. The $25 you need to pay to get your learner license. A hard copy of learner license you will receive in your mail by 7 or 8 days or maybe 10 days max. And that's all. It's very smooth. You don't need to call any agent, or you don't need any reference or anything like that. We need to have some kind of agent or some kind of thing back in our country to get license and all these things. But here things are very straightforward. You don't need to you don't need to get help from anyone else other than you just need to follow the process. The process are very simplified in English. You just need to follow those steps, and then you are eligible to get a learner license. And once you, as I already said, once you have received your learner license, then you need to wait for 9 months if you are going for a driving school, and if you are not going for a driving school, then you need to wait for 12 months to get your next test done. And once your next test is done, then you will be able to drive your vehicle anywhere in Canada. Okay, so this is the whole process. So I hope this is helpful for you guys, and wish my wife all the best for her driving journey. And today she is very happy. Ultimately she got a learner license. At least now she can sit on my vehicle, and she can hover the steering, and she can get going if any certified trainer is there. Okay, so anyway, so this is the whole process. And if you guys have any questions regarding driving license, you can ask me. And if you like this video, please subscribe us and stay tuned. Thank you for watching our videos. Bye.